What's your favorite scary movie? Scream. But the question is it Scream 1996, the original, or the new Scream? Because, of course, this is my review for Scream 2022, the newest Scream movie, the fifth one in the total in the entire franchise. And so basically this is gonna be a spoiler review, but also a non-spoiler review. The non-spoiler review is gonna be the short part of it. It's gonna be here at the beginning. I'm gonna put a timestamp on the screen right now, just if you want to be aware that that when I do start talking about spoilers, because if you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend you do. But I just want to make sure that I don't spoil the movie for anyone, of course. The movie is still very, very, very new, so yeah, it's very, very exciting. So I have a nice piece of paper here, but I just want to talk about the movie as a whole so far for the non-spoiler review portion. Let me get my paper here. Okay, so in terms of the returning characters in this movie, they're in it for a pretty... I mean, some of them are in it for a good amount of time, but other ones are not. Obviously, Sydney, Dewey, and Gale are the three returning characters. Actually, no, I guess it'd be Judy as well. Judy Hicks, the deputy, the blonde cop that was in Scream 4. She's in it for a bit as well. So there's a couple returning characters. I'm pretty sure those are the only ones, though. But overall, the returning characters, I enjoyed them in this movie. They didn't get a ton of time, but that's because this movie really is trying to, since it's called Scream and not Scream 5, it's really trying to reinvent Scream, but it still keeps a lot of things that made the franchise so great. But obviously, it has to sacrifice time for the legacy characters to bring in and introduce and flesh out the new characters and explain where they come from and everything like that. The pacing of the movie, I've been seeing some people say that the pacing wasn't very good and was the weakest part of the movie. The movie, it's about an hour and 50 minutes. I think I saw it's like an hour and 54 minutes, or about basically 2 hours is what it is. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the 2 hours is including the credits. I don't think there's a post-credit scene. I didn't stay for the post-credit scene, but I haven't heard that there is any or anything like that. So, but Scream movies aren't known for that. Even though a lot of movies since Marvel does it, a lot of movies do it nowadays, or a couple movies nowadays do it besides Marvel. But yeah, I thought the pacing was good, but that could just be because I'm a massive Scream fan, so therefore I was interested in every second of the movie, and it was pretty good. The suspense in the movie and the overall just scariness, the horror of it. Um, I think it's safe to say it's the scariest Ghostface we've ever seen. Like, I'm trying to think, because the night before I watched the new Scream, went and rewatched the original, and the original, it might be just as many times, just because of how many times I've seen it, but it's really not scary. Like, I don't even think it would be scary to somebody that's never seen it before. Maybe the opening with Casey Becker, maybe the opening. That's definitely the scariest part of the first Scream. And then the sequels as well. I don't really think Scream is a very scary set of movies. But this new one, it could just be because it's my first Scream and my first horror movie ever, my first rated R movie ever in theaters, which was a pretty big milestone in and of itself. Um, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought Ghostface was very brutal in this one. Um, and there were some moments where, like, I don't know, they really played with the fans a lot in this. They really did. There were a couple fake outs, and then Ghostface just jumps out of nowhere, doing typical Ghostface things. But overall, I thought the horror and suspense in this movie, I thought it was done really, really well, and they took some big risks in this, I would say. Um, and I don't know, we'll have to see how they pay off. We'll have to see, because there's most likely going to be a sequel to this. And yeah, so I don't really have anything else to say in the non-spoiler review here. But again, I'm going to start talking about spoilers very, very soon. So again, just so you know, I have a lot of things to talk about here for the spoilers. It's kind of hard to do a non-spoiler review, but overall, if I just had to rate the movie, I would probably give it, and I am very, very biased because, I am a huge, huge Scream fan. It's my favorite horror movie franchise of all time. I would probably give it like 8.5 out of 10, something like that. 8.5, maybe even 9 out of 10. Actually, no. I would say the first movie, is probably like a 9 out of 10 for me. So therefore, this new one is either an 8 or an 8.5. This is currently, and I've only seen it one time, and I won't be able to see it any more times in theaters because me and my parents we never go multiple times to the theaters, but just because it's so expensive. But we'll wait till it comes out and then we'll have to buy it on digital and everything. But once I rewatch it, we'll have to see if I like it more than Scream 2, 3, and 4. Right now, my favorite sequel is honestly like I don't even know. Like I have a hard time choosing between 2 and 4, but I think yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my second favorite is right now. My second favorite right now is the new one, but we'll have to see if that changes, of course. So here I go. I'm going into the spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you don't want it spoiled for you, I click off the video. Thanks for watching this far into it, but if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna reveal the killers in like 10 seconds. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna count down. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want it spoiled, leave the video right now because I know how important going into these Scream movies, completely unaware is. I know how important it is. So the killers, I'm gonna reveal in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's Amber and Richie. And Amber, I kind of suspected Amber all along. You know, a lot of people did. She's like the creepy girl in the trailers. She's Tara's friend. I actually knew she was the killer going into it. Because being on the internet, I was able to get like this happened with No Way Home as well. Even though I saw No Way Home the day it came out, I saw Scream the day after it came out on Saturday. I still got a video in my recommended. Gail gets revenge on Amber, and it was just like a little, a little bootleg clip from the movie theater that someone uploaded, and it was only like 20 seconds long or whatever. And yeah, all I saw was the title. They had the name of the killer in the title. But if I didn't see that, I would have expected it to be Amber. But then again, I would have also maybe expected her to be a red herring. I don't know. Richie was the definite red herring in this, and I'm not gonna lie, I liked Richie. So I'm kind of upset. I was kind of upset. I was like, please don't be him. And then when there was a scene where I forgot what they were trying to get. Was it a gun or was it a knife at the end of the movie? I'm guessing it was a gun right after Sydney shot Richie in like the leg or whatever. And then he was coming down the stairs. I just knew it was the perfect setup for a. It's kind of like Billy when Billy came down the stairs, those same stairs in the first movie, isn't it? Yeah. And then he was like, give me the gun or whatever. But yeah, I was a bit sad that Richie was the killer, but I saw it coming once we did get to the end of the movie, towards the end of it. But it was a little bit. I like the killers in this movie. I thought Amber was very, very unhinged, very, very crazy. She was like, she played the victim. I don't know. I don't know. I thought Amber was good. It's just hard to believe that Amber, again, just like Jill from Scream 4, was able to overpower the some of the victims in this movie, which I'm gonna get to right now. If it was Richie in some of the cases, then I could believe that maybe, but Amber, I just can't believe that. So let's talk about the kills. So this movie, I said, took some risks, and the movie starts out killing Vince, but we kind of expected that. Vince apparently is Stu's sister's son. So Vince is like the guy that we saw with the car. He's like the Billy 2.0, but it's kind of funny how it's like he's like Billy, but he's actually Stu. He's related to Stu, so that's kind of funny how that worked. Vince is the first kill. Tara does not get killed in the opening. We kind of expected that because we saw some shots of her in the hospital and everything. Tara was in the movie for a lot, and a lot of people really like Tara in this movie. She's the younger sister to Sam, which is the main character, and I really liked her as well. There was a point where I was thinking she was the killer and she was the ultimate mastermind, and maybe she still is, maybe, I don't know, in the next movie, but she wasn't in this movie, and she was very, very standout in this movie, for sure. Yeah, I really liked all the new characters. I also like Chad, I like Mindy, Chad and Mindy Meeks, which are basically the niece and nephew to Randy, Martha Meeks' daughter and son, basically. Which Martha Meeks is obviously Randy's sister. We saw her in Scream 3, so she has like a cameo in this, not for too long though. And then there's a lot of Randy references in this, which I'm glad. You can tell the directors of this movie really, really cared about the legacy that Scream has and whatever, because there were a lot of cool Easter eggs and stuff like that. Like, in terms of Easter eggs, they proved or they confirmed that Kirby is alive. And then there was, what else was there? That's the big one. Oh, they had like a dead meat thing. You remember in the trailers with the chrome face? They kind of like showed that, but honestly, the way they showed it in this movie, it was literally just like a trailer. It was something to throw you off from the trailer. Like, there's no chrome face. Like, Ghostface does not wear a chrome mask in this movie. Yeah, and it's basically just like a troll, an internet thing, because it's to go along with the meta with the stab stuff. But James A. Janice, the guy that does the kill counts and the dead meat videos, or well, dead meat YouTube channel, I like watching him sometimes. He was actually in this movie, and then he was kind of like making fun of Stab 8 or whatever. And yeah, so that was pretty dang cool to see that. There were some other Easter eggs as they showed the that Kirby was alive. There were some little Easter eggs on the side of the screen. And my mom is texting me, man. I forgot to turn off the notification sound. Jeez, man. Okay, so I'm getting so off topic here. I always do in these commentaries. I really like this movie. But after Vince died, there was Wes died. Well, okay, yeah, I'm gonna tell you the order they died in if I can remember, because even though it's only been like 24 hours, I just forget. It was Judy Hicks. Judy from Scream 4 died, and it was a tragic, tragic scene in broad daylight. The trailers kind of led us to believe that, and like some promotional images and everything, but it was sad to see that, and it was just, honestly, it was one of my favorite sequences in the entire movie. I think a lot of other people, I've been looking on Reddit, a lot of other people really enjoyed that sequence as well, because right after she dies, her son gets killed, Wes, which he's named after Wes Craven, which is very, very cool. It's just sad. It is a sad sequence to see a mother, especially a character that we spent a whole movie with before, to see her just get killed off that quick, and that just out of nowhere in broad daylight. It's crazy. Like, that really surprised me. I figured she was gonna die in this movie, but not that, like, it kind of freaked me out. And I also figured that I was thinking Wes was gonna be the second killer. Like, I already knew Amber was gonna be one of them. I literally didn't know. I only knew Amber was the killer going into this movie. And even if I didn't know that, like I said, I would have guessed that it was her because she's just so creepy looking. Mikey Madison just is creepy looking. But like I said, she plays a maniac very, very well. But after they die, there's a sequence that there's a cop that dies in the hospital, and then I believe after that Dewey dies, and this is the part that this is like my only issue with the movie is how Dewey died. I feel like he should have gone out with more of a bang, more of an actual sacrifice, because he really just had a stupid death. You know, after 4 movies, you'd think that he would go for the head. He shot Ghostface like 4 times, not a single drop of blood, and then he just leaves, and then he's like, oh wait, I gotta go back and shoot him in the head because it's never fully done. They're never truly gone until I go shoot him in the head. And then he goes back, he gets a phone call from Gail, it startles him, and then Ghostface just comes up, guts him from the front and the back, like literally grabs 2 knives, and then just like, it just, blood everywhere. It was so sad to see. And man, dude, like, these hospitals in these horror movies, man, like, where are all the people in there? Like, it's just dark, empty. I don't understand it at all, man. But it was kind of sad to see. It was very sad to see, actually. I was literally crying because Dewey is, for a character that we've spent 25 years with, to just be killed off like that, and I feel like it wasn't a good enough death. I don't know. It's just sad, but that's a big risk they took. And then after that, I'm not gonna be able to say them in order of how they died. Chad almost gets killed, but then kind of gets saved. Mindy does not die. Sid and Gail do not die. Amber and Richie obviously do die at the end of it. Sam actually kills Richie because Sam is Billy's daughter, Billy Loomis's daughter, and they kind of have like Skeet Ulrich flashbacks, but they're not really flashbacks. They're like hallucinations. They use de-aging on him. And that really caught me off guard. Billy's my favorite killer in the entire series, so that was really, really awesome to see that. and especially that they use Skeet Ulrich in there. But yeah, so Sam is kind of like she had, she's kind of, a little bit. It's kind of up for debate if she's gonna be a killer in the upcoming movies. That would be really crazy. A lot of people want Tara to be the main character instead of Sam, but I have no idea. Yeah, so then Liv gets killed. Liv is the red-haired girlfriend of Chad, and there were some pretty funny moments at the party with Liv and Chad. It was quite hilarious, and then um, there was like a Find My iPhone part where Chad was like trying to find Liv because Liv left him and just went outside alone, and then Chad got attacked, of course. But luckily, Chad didn't die. I would have been quite sad if Chad died. But then Liv just gets shot in the head. Amber's reveal is very, very striking to me. Like, crazy. Like, it's never been done before like that. And then, man, like, it was crazy. Am I missing any of the characters, though? I don't think I am. I don't think I'm missing any of the deaths. But Amber gets, like, burned alive at the end of the movie and then comes back and then just, like, screaming. It's insane. And then the meta, like I was saying, the meta in this movie is something else. They touch on toxic fandom, which I don't really know too much about. They talked about Star Wars and whatever, which I do know a little bit about. Yeah, I'm not really too interested in all the talk about toxic fandom. The most toxic thing I think that exists in the world is Twitter, but that's just me and millions of other people. The motive. Okay, so the motive was, from what I can understand, it was basically, Richie and Amber loved the original movie so much, and they hated the sequels, like Stab, like in universe, they're talking about the Stab movies, they hated Stab 8, so they wanted to basically go back to the original, and Richie, being the boyfriend of the main character Sam, was a way to do that, and, yeah, it's just crazy. Also, Dewey said the rules in this, but there were, like, clips, you can actually see clips on YouTube, like, high-quality clips of Dewey saying the 3 rules in this movie. Like, there was never trusted love interest, the killer's always part of the group, and then the killer is a part of something in the past, I think were the 3 rules. And yeah, they all turned out to be true, right? Like, yeah, it's Dewey with that experience. But yeah, the twists in this movie, honestly, the biggest twist to me was the fact that Richie was the killer, because he was likable. I did not think he was going to be the killer. I didn't think they were going to do the boyfriend thing again, but then again, it has been a while since they last did that, right? Like, yeah, boyfriend to the main character, I guess. And then oh yeah, I want to talk about this. The For Wes, the hashtag For Wes, I think it has a hashtag at the front. Basically, after Wes died in the movie, the son of Judy Hicks, Wes Hicks, after he died, Amber threw a party, and Amber's house is Stu Macher's house, Stu's old house. So that's how they get there. They have a party there, and it's overall very, very good. I don't know if it's as good as the original Scream, but it's definitely really, really good. A really good final act for sure. But yeah, they basically just throw a party for Wes, and it's kind of meta because it's, Wes is actually a character in the movie that died from Ghostface, but he's also Wes Craven. They're paying homage to Wes Craven, the creator of Nightmare on Elm Street, but also Scream, of course, and he directed all 4 of the Scream movies, except for this one, because sadly he passed away in 2015, but luckily, I feel like he would be proud of this movie. Like, this movie felt like any other Scream movie. It felt really, really good, and I really enjoyed it. And then the future. I want to talk a little bit about the future, even though it's pretty crazy right now because the movie's only been out for like a couple days, but I think there is going to be a sequel. I think there will be a sequel. I don't think it's going to be called Scream 2. I think they're going to do something with Halloween Kills like they did there and name it something else. But yeah, so anyways, very, very good movie. I highly recommend it. I came out of the movie very, very satisfied. During the credits, I had a big smile on my face. As a Scream fan, it's just so nice. Like I said, this is my first horror movie in theaters, and it was Scream, my favorite horror franchise of all time. So, highly recommend it. Peace out, guys.